I'm Tom Vasel.
Jason Levine.
I'm going over my top 250 games of all time, or 250 to 101, and Jason is telling me if I'm right or wrong. But I feel like he's approved more than not so far.
Well, everything is awesome after all.
All right, so here we go. Today we're going through 200 to 176. Let's get started with the second game in a series, Manhattan Project, Energy Empire. I don't know which of the Manhattan Projects you like the best.
Energy Empire.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, not quite, but it's my second favorite of this. Actually, I don't even like Manhattan Project 2. But Energy Empire, you get these energy dice that you get over the course of the game, and you can roll them to get energy, and you're using these dice for things. But they also give pollution. So in this game, you can be like a master polluter if you want. And you might win. You're going to lose points for the pollution, but you might get enough stuff done. Or you can go for no pollution, but maybe you don't have as much energy then. It's a good game.
No, I like it. We'll have some debates about if it's better than the original.
Who's the originals are on my list? Okay, 199 is a game that I like better than War of the Ring, and Jason will disagree with me on this one, and that's Battle of Five Armies.
Oh, not even close.
You're right. Battle of Five Armies is way better.
No. Only if you're a simpleton. I mean... one is a battle. One is an epic struggle of the hobbits making it across.
Well, that I actually agree on. It's just that I like the battle better than the epic struggle. I like War of the Ring. It's a fine game, but it is long and drawn out. And sometimes I just want to do a lot of fighting, and sometimes there's not a lot of fighting in War of the Ring. It happens sometimes.
You're hiding. You're putting the ring on and hiding. One has theme and one is boring.
No. Okay, anyway. But Battle of Five Armies is a much more even game. The armies are kind of balanced to some degree, and the light army just keeps getting better and better, actually. I like it. All right. 198 is Crossfire. Shooting the little marbles? No, not that Crossfire. The one from Emerson Matsuuchi. It's a game... There's two versions of the Crossfire game, two rule sets. I like the Assassin. One person is a sniper. And he has to figure out at the table... We know there's a leader at the table.
Yes.
And then there's two snipers. I mean, there's two assassins trying to kill that leader. And the sniper has to take them out. And everyone has to convince it that you're not them. You know a little bit of the information. I'll be like...
Oh, the people near you.
Jason definitely was, I saw a card, and I'm trying to persuade the sniper to shoot Jason when actually I'm the bad guy.
It's a unique social game.
Yeah. 197 is a new game to the Dice Tower Essentials line. Just came out this year. That's Critical Mass. Now, when I first played the prototype for Critical Mass, I was like, Jason, try this game out. And we just kept playing it and playing it. It is a complex version of War. You each have a mech. You each play a card face down and turn it over, and the cards will interact with each other. If they're both weapons, the faster weapon shoots first. But usually the faster the weapon, the less damage it does.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just going to block his things. But you also can upgrade your cards over the course of the game. So you got to figure out the best time to do that. Like, Jason likes to upgrade as fast as he can. So I know that. So I'm going to shoot him on the first turn. But I know that he knows I know that. So I'm going to upgrade on the first turn. And then, anyway, it's really funny sometimes when we play this. Critical Mass. 196 is a cooperative game about superheroes, Sentinels of the Multiverse. You like this one?
Oh, yeah.
Now, this one has dropped for me over the years. This was very, very high for me. Marvel Legendary has knocked it off because I actually like the IP superheroes a little bit better. But Sentinels is still an excellent game, and it's original superheroes. You have your own deck, and you have to work together. Now, they came out with an app for this where you can play it on the iPad and stuff, and that app kind of replaces the game almost. I mean, it's because the game's a little fiddly moving around different pieces, but there's so many combos with the game, so many groups of heroes versus different villains versus different environments you fight them in. It's cool, and it's the reason a company exists now, Greater Than Games. Mm-hmm. 195 is an old game that I love, and I think I'm one of the few people who talks about it anymore, and that's Lost Valley. You ever play this one?
Yeah, it's not that old.
It's over 12 years old, I think, at this point. It's a pretty old game. No, they just reprinted it recently. And this is a game where you're going out and hunting for gold. You're a gold prospector. It feels like almost a role-playing game where you go out, you hunt deer. You know what this game is? It's the real Oregon Trail. It's better than Oregon Trail. At least you don't die in this one as much.
Yes.
But you're going around and you're fishing and hunting and looking for gold in the river or in mines. And you have 2 actions. So you're like, 1 action, 2 action. And boom, and play goes really fast. If you can find a copy of this, I really recommend it. All right, Jason hasn't contradicted me too much here. 194 is a game I thought I would not like when I first heard about it, and that's Jump Drive.
Why didn't you think you'd like it?
Because they were like, oh, it's an introductory kind of game to Race for the Galaxy. And I was like, I already like Race for the Galaxy. I don't need no introductory game. But it's actually a different game. It's a quick, fast game that has some similarities to Race for the Galaxy, but Jump Drive takes like 20 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
You're just playing these cards, and the game can end after like 7 turns or 6 turns. You know, you're collecting a certain number of points, and your cards are going to combo off each other. I wouldn't use it, I think, to teach people Race for the Galaxy because, again, it only has like 2 of the actions. I think Tech and Earth. It's just a very different game, but I thought it worked really well.
Oh, yeah, I like it a lot.
Now we're going old school with my 193. This is a game that came out from AEG initially, and it's one of the few collectible card games on my list, Warlord. Did you ever play this one? Warlord, you have a warlord, and then you have a bunch of people defending your warlord, minions, and you attack each other with 20-sided dice, like D20 combat from Dungeons & Dragons. But you could have, to get these really powerful minions on the board, you have to support them with a bunch of weak minions. So you could just fill your whole deck with weak minions, and that would work. Or you could put these powerful ones in, but then you got to get them like in a support structure to get the more powerful ones out. I don't know what you think about this one.
It's okay.
I like it.
I'm not a big CCG fan, so...
You like Magic?
Yeah, but that's because it's the granddaddy of them.
Okay. No, but this one, I don't know what it is. I like the D20 combat in this particular game, and it just feels like the factions have a very different feel. Also, it's really cheap if you can go find a whole pile of it.
Yeah.
192. Last time we mentioned a game, Reifenbreiten, for a great drafting racing game, but this one is better. It's from GMT Games, and that is Thunder Alley.
Yeah.
Now, I think you like Thunder Alley, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thunder Alley, they made a sequel to Thunder Alley, a NASCAR. I forgot what the sequel was called, but the sequel was not as good.
No, Thunder Alley's the NASCAR game. The other, Formula One Grand Prix.
Grand Prix, right. I'm sorry. I like the first one better, which is Thunder Alley. In this game, you have multiple cars again, and all the cars move together all the time. You draft cars behind you, you draft in front of you, and what you're trying to do is get your cars together, if possible, and draft with them, or just follow the other person, and at the right time, pull ahead of everybody else.
It really feels like a NASCAR race. I mean, the drafting really feels like the way they race.
Right, because so you think about it, there's a race that's 500 laps, okay? You can't do a game with 500 laps. It'll take forever. This game only has, I think, like 3 laps or whatever, but it's as if they're zooming around and around and around, and then you pull out ahead. That was on one of the laps, you know. It works really well. Let's see here. 191 is a whole pile of games. Dungeons & Dragons board games. So there's Castle Ravenloft, Wrath of Ashardlan. I got boxes and boxes of them. Tomb of Annihilation, the Legend of Drizzt. And they all work together. They're all the exact same thing. They're about to release another one. You know, they just keep doing it. For a while, they were being done by Wizards of the Coast, I think. Now WizKids is doing them, but they're the exact same game. You like these, right?
No, not that much.
You played one with me.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. There's better Dungeons & Dragons games out there.
They're very light games, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, I just get fun. And there's tons of plastic miniatures. And nowadays, at WizKids is doing them, you can buy the deluxe versions, which have painted miniatures, which always helps.
Yeah.
All right, 190, another classic card game, and I know Jason likes this one, and that's For Sale. For Sale is one of those or you don't like it?
No, I love it.
Oh.
I just had to make that face to scare you for a second.
For Sale is, I think Stefan Dora did this one. It's a 2-part game. The first part, you bid on getting these different houses. The second part, you play the houses and sell them for money. And it goes up to 6 players. And again, this is a game I must have played almost 100 times in my lifetime. So many times I'd have 6 people, and some of them never played games before, and I'd say, this one's really easy. And it really is.
Yeah.
There was Eagle Griffin came out with a version of it. Just really like it.
Yes.
189. Hey, I just talked about this. Magic the Gathering. Is this too low?
Yeah, it's in my top 100.
I like Magic. I like it as much as the next person. Well, not as much as the next person, obviously. But I don't play it competitively. Never have, never will. But I like buying starter decks and playing those starter decks against each other. I like building decks too, right? And I love Commander. Commander is so much fun. 100-card deck and stuff. And Jason's right. It's the granddaddy of CCGs, and it's still very popular today. And they keep coming out with really neat ideas for it.
Yeah, I haven't played it in years, but yeah.
Jason claims that they made rules in the game based on him.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Like 20 years ago.
All right, 188. Here we go. Manhattan Project. So I like it a little bit better than Manhattan Project Energy Empire. Manhattan Project is one of the first worker games where you put workers out or you pulled them off. And it also has different workers in the game. You have engineers and scientists, and you need different workers to go to different areas. It's about a pretty grim theme, actually, about building nuclear bombs, but you don't actually drop them or anything. You can attack other players with some airplanes, which is actually part of the game I don't like that much. I'd rather just work on my own stuff, but you don't have to do it. You can just work on your own stuff. You get your own buildings. I think it's a really well-designed game.
No, don't get me wrong. I like them both. I like the dice a lot more in Energy Empire, I think.
All right. But they're both good games. 187 is an abstract strategy game that I like a lot, The Duke, or its sequel, The Jarl. This is like a chess game, but your piece shows you on it how it moves. You might say this one can go 2 spaces forward or all the way to the side, and every time you move it, then you flip it over. And you pull your pieces randomly from a bag. However, you have the same pieces in your bag, so it's not like the game is just chaotic. It's not as straightforward as chess, and I'll play this over chess any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. I didn't know if Jason would say chess is the granddaddy of abstract games.
No.
Well, let's go, probably.
Yes.
But the Duke, there's the Duke and the Jarl. I like the Duke a little bit better because it has pieces that move faster. If you want a close combat type feel to the game, the Jarl would be your choice.
Or just Jarl.
Is it Jarl?
Yeah. But the Jarl sounds interesting.
Sorry. 186 is Dead of Winter. Now, I like Dead of Winter better than Battlestar Galactica. What about you? You complain more in Dead of Winter because you don't like when you have a secret objective that makes you look like the traitor and you're not.
Yeah.
We always accuse Jason of being the traitor anyway. In Dead of Winter, it's harder to tell because you might say your secret objective might be collect all the food. And we're like, we need the food. I know you have food. Jason's like, I don't have food. We're like, he's a traitor. But really, it's just being a selfish person in the game.
I was collecting food. That's what I wanted.
185 is a game I told Jason he needs to get for his niece and nephew, and that's Stuffed Fables. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you play it with them?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I don't have many children's games on my top games. That's like a separate list that I would do, right? Because these are my favorite games. But me playing this with my kids is so good. The story is amazing.
I mean, I liked Mice and Mystics, but this blows it away.
Yeah,
this is
it's not
Toy Story. It's not because the character is different, but it feels like you're in Toy Story world.
But it's a little darker, right? But not too dark, right? Your kids aren't going to be... But, I mean, you're fighting like monsters,
yeah.
and you are trying to protect this little girl whose toys you are. And you find little weapons like scissors and stuff. The components are great. It's just good across the board. 184 is a game I'm not sure Jason has played yet. Chimera Station.
Yeah, you have with the little robots, and you put them together, and you...
Oh, wait, never mind. Jason destroyed me at this game. I remember now. Yeah. So this has workers, but you can customize them. You can add like leafy pieces to them, then you don't need to feed them. You can add brains to them, and they'll get you more points. You can add arms to them, and they'll get you more resources. And then you can add like some sort of weapon or whatever, and you can kick other people off spots that you want. But it's neat because you can customize them any way you want.
Yep.
And that's neat. And you're building them. They're like weird aliens and mutating them. It's fun.
Yes.
183 is a Ryan Lockett game that I like a lot, Islebound. This is one that has not got as much love as like Above and Below and Near and Far and all that. But Islebound just is interesting. You're going around from island to island. You can either take them over like military, or you can negotiate with them. It's getting resources here, picking them up, delivering them here. There's a lot going on in the game. It's a little generic in a lot of ways, but it plays so smoothly. Ryan's games are just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 182 is 1989. This is a game very similar to Twilight Struggle. Now, in some ways, it's better than Twilight Struggle. It has a neat combat system that they kind of stole from... who does the flanking type stuff? Is that Hannibal vs. Carthage?
That's also their company. That's why.
Right. We the
people in Hannibal. Yes.
So it has a little bit of that. That's not in Twilight Struggle, and it's better balanced in Twilight Struggle. As basically you're fighting communism versus non-communism. The reason I like Twilight Struggle better, it's way higher on my list, is because I like the theme. I like the whole Cold War theme. I wasn't in Eastern Europe, so I don't know as much as what happened there. I did live during the last part of the Cold War, so that feels more relevant to me. And then also I like the whole global thing. But this 1989 is also a good game. I don't know how many times you played it.
Yeah, I've played it. I like it a lot.
181 for me is Star Trek Fleet Captains. This is Star Trek in a box. It is, you have multiple ships with multiple crews, and they're flying around and doing multiple things. So like anything that would be a whole game in itself is just a card. Tribbles are a card. You can beam people down to planets, and they can do away missions. You can do combat, or you can ignore combat. Like if you play the Klingons, you're probably going to do combat. And you get points for various things going all over the place. There's a lot of neat things. This game would be higher on my list if the component quality was good. It's not.
Yeah, those hexes are kind of
really bad, yeah. 180 is from Stronghold Games. It's a deck building game that I like a lot. Core Worlds. Now, a couple caveats. I like it way better with its first expansion. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I'll play it with more than 3 people because it just takes too long. But Core Worlds, you are slowly building like an army and a navy in front of yourself. And then at the time you're like, you know what? I'm attacking this world and taking it over. And you're slowly adding worlds that get you points, and there are more resources. And you're also, as the game goes by, you just keep getting better and better each phase. I mean, you start with these really chintzy, lame-o units at the beginning. At the end, you're like Mega Tank and Battlestar Destroyer. So, a lot of fun. 179 is Millennium Blades. I don't know if you've played this one or not.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about collectible card games. Millennium Blades is a game about collectible card games. Like, in this game, you are pretending you are a collectible card game player.
Yeah.
So you're buying packs of cards and opening them up, trading them with other people, and then you actually play the game.
Yes.
Which is, it's okay. You're like comparing some characters and fighting, whatever. It's the collecting the card part I like a lot.
And the money packs. I don't know why they made money packs, but the whole money packs is cute.
Oh, stacks of cash thrown around?
Yes.
I first heard about this game in a top 10 list you and I did with Rado. And he was explaining it, and my mind was like blown. Like, what is this? It's a lot of fun. Millennium Blades. 178. Assault of the Giants. This is from WizKids Games, and you pick a race of giants. You might be the Storm Giants, the Hill Giants, the Fire Giants, the Ice Giants. I didn't know there was that many giants, actually. And what's cool is they're actually giants. They're big giant pieces. Yeah. And then they even have a few small human pieces who are giant hunters that you, just for visual of aid. And everyone has different goals. You're trying to get different points. You fight each other in a game. You send the giant hunters after other people. I think it's a pretty neat game. Mm-hmm. What's the best giants? It's the Hill Giants, because they like to eat stuff.
I like all giants.
You like all giants?
Yeah, giants are friends.
177 is an abstract strategy game from Queen, which when I first saw it, I didn't think much of it, but after I played it, it was amazing. It's Glux. Glux, you have these discs that have 2 sides of a die on them. Like, I think they're 2s and 5s and 3s and 4s and 1s and 6s on the different sides. And that's how far you can move a piece or put the next piece. And then the number will also control areas. So it's like an area control game. And it's really thinky. Has lights and stuff in it. So
yes. Yeah, I played it. I like it. I mean, I like abstract games in general. And this never got a lot of fanfare when it came out.
I don't know. A lot of Queen games don't, unfortunately. But this one, I think, is one of the best Queen games that come out in the past 5 years. Easily. When it came out, I just kept playing it. And finally, the last one for this section, 176. Welcome to the dungeon. This is a very simple game in which there's a character there. They have a bunch of equipment, and then on your turn, you add another monster to the dungeon, or you take one of their pieces of equipment away, or you say, I'm out. And when everyone is out, then the person who's still there has to take that hero through all the monsters that were played with only the pieces of equipment that are there. So you keep making it harder and harder for that hero to go through the dungeon, but if you make it too hard, you'll never make it through.
I really, really like this one.
They also made Welcome Back to the Dungeon, which is the exact same game. You can mix and match them. Yeah, it's a really small game, but it plays so well. I mean, you played this a lot like at Gen Con, at the different parties and stuff there. And it's a great little filler game. I have it somewhere over here in my filler game category. Welcome to the Dungeon. Really, really fun game.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're halfway through this long list of games. We still got 75 more to take a look at. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
Jason Levine.
And you've been watching The Dice Tower.